monthly meeting of the Morgantown Utility Board dated Tuesday, October 14th, 5:30 p.m. I note that we have a quorum present. So the first item is, I assume members have reviewed the minutes that were distributed, and I call for a question or a motion to approve the minutes.
Yep, I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of September 9th, 2025 as submitted.
Second.
The motion's been made and seconded. Any corrections or additions? All in favor of approving the minutes for the regular meeting of September 9th, 2025 as submitted, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No one opposed? The minutes are approved. We'll next turn to the public portion of the meeting. Are there members of the public who would like to address the board at this time? Or did we receive any written communications from anyone regarding addressing the board?
No, we did not.
Okay. We'll move on to new business. First item of new business is the Neely Village Development Sanitary Sewer Project.
Yes, this is for the installation of approximately 1,677 feet of 8-inch gravity sanitary sewer main to serve the Neely Village Development located off of Fairchance Road. We did bid this project out. Your bid tabs are included in your packet if you would like to review those again, but it is our recommendation to the board they accept the bid from Parada Paving in the amount of $268,691.67.
I have a question. Where exactly is this on the Fairchance Road?
I don't know exactly where it's located.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
No, but I'll go ahead and move to accept the bid from Parada Paving in the amount of $268,691.67 for the installation of sanitary sewer mains to serve the Neely Village Development.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is the Woodford Oil Maintenance Facility Water and Sanitary Sewer Project.
Yes, this is for the installation of approximately 626 feet of 8-inch gravity sewer main, 230 feet of 8-inch water line, and 75 feet of 2-inch water line to serve the Woodford Oil Maintenance Facility off Corporate Drive located at the Chaplin Business Park. It is staff's recommendation to accept the bid from Parada Paving in the amount of $128,904.
Any discussion?
I think this and the previous one I saw, as we do from time to time, see a pretty wide swing in bids. We've worked with Parada a lot, so I'm guessing we're comfortable with this bid coming in at this level.
Yes.
Right. All right. Hearing that, and since he's working off a small phone, I'll say I move to accept the bid from Parada Paving in the amount of $128,904 for the installation of sanitary sewer main and water main to serve the Woodford Oil Maintenance Facility.
I second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item of new business is the Willow Springs Phase 1A Sanitary Sewer Project.
Yes, this is for the installation of approximately 1,399 feet of 8-inch gravity sewer to serve Phase 1A of the Willow Springs development, the old Mountaineer Golf Course off of Brand Road. It is staff's recommendation that the board accept the bid from B.C. Allen Company in the amount of $229,567.
Any discussion on the bid?
Guessing you just gave Parada Paving too much work for them to bid on this one.
I would assume they're very busy.
Right.
Hey, it's good. Spread it around.
Hey,
Hey, Mark.
sorry about that.
we're discussing the Willow Springs Phase 1A sanitary sewer contract, and
here in
the
front of
spread sheet is in front of you.
Thanks.
Do I hear a motion?
Unless Mark, you want to take a look at that because this are new for us today.
Okay, I move to accept the bid from BCL and Company in the amount of $229,567 for the installation of gravity sewer to serve Phase 1A of the Willow Spring development.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, next item is the Lower Pompano Run evaluation and upgrades.
Okay, so this is for the approval of task order with the Thrasher Group for the development of a preliminary engineering report that will also include a hydraulic study of Lower Pompano Run for submittal to the West Virginia Infrastructure and Jobs Development Council. Thrasher will evaluate the condition of the existing stormwater system from the WVU Alumni Pond and even do some evaluation upstream as far as the hydraulic analysis goes, down Pattison Drive and into Krebs Park, and recommending project alternatives. As the board will recall, we've had some issues with some sinkholes developing because of the deterioration of the stormwater piping and some of the along the open channel where it's sloughing off. And so we've just completed addressing Upper Pompano. Now it's time to address Lower Pompano along Pattison. And so this agreement will get us moving forward. The amount of the agreement is $72,000, and it is our recommendation the board approve it.
Any discussion?
Yeah, one question. Given that this goes into Krebs Park, assume or hope we're looping in Bow Park and the fact that there'll be some people on site and then bring them in as some of the discussions are happening going forward.
Once we get started into the actual evaluations and we start seeing the recommendations, we're certainly going to loop in our partners. This is our kickoff of what we have to do, so that will be sometime down the road.
Great.
Any other questions?
Do we expect that this is going to have any impact on? There's been, I know, folks in that Suncrest neighborhood over there above Krebs Park have had issues with water in the basements and flooding when we get torrential rain. Are you expecting that this might have any impact positive on that?
Well, I certainly would say that the project we just completed on Upper Pompano is going to have a very positive impact.
Okay.
I don't know that I can say what kind of an impact this one would have just because of what will be recommended as far as repair versus replacement. Just given that cost and what can be done in those open channels to possibly slow some of that water down. But it's always hopefully that we can, but I can't say what that impact would be. But I definitely believe that what we just completed is going to have a very positive impact on all the downstream residences.
Okay.
I think we'll learn that as part of the evaluation.
Right. Fair.
I think in the hydraulic analysis, it's once they have that completed. I don't know how much of a what if questions they're going to be able to answer if we get this amount of rain or that amount of rain, what the effect will be. But it will be a very important part of the overall analysis.
I appreciate it. Councilor Saline has kept that issue very, very prevalent.
Well, I can't imagine why.
So, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any other discussions on that particular task order?
Well, I'll motion to approve the task order in the amount of $72,000 with the Thrasher Group for preparation of preliminary engineering report for the Lower Pompano Run.
Well, second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Under old business, the office expansion and renovation and new shop garage. We've have a presentation by David Snyder with Omni Architects.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening, David.
I am just going to run through a little bit of an update for you. I think it's been about 2 years since I've been here. So I've got some plans to show you, update on the budget, just kind of walk you through that. If I go too fast, stop me. If you want to see something else, just feel free to stop me. Most of this stuff, most of you have already seen before. Not a lot has changed, but we initially did a sort of workflow diagram for you all. You sat with your staff, talked with many people in your staff, and you can see, this is the existing structure, and there's a lot of flow problems. Just to put it that way, your different departments are sort of intermingled with other departments, and you're overcrowded. But again, we've had this done for a while. I think you all have seen this, most of you anyway. The existing basement plan you can see here on the right side. It's mostly mechanical. The left side is IT and storage for the most part. You do have a little bathroom down there as well. This would be the new layout. The existing here, this all pretty much stays the same. The IT space may get expanded a little bit. We're talking about adding a shower down here in the basement. Over here is the new piece. So you're going to come out of the existing basement door down into this basement sort of storage space. We have the ability, you'll see on the second floor plan, above this is sort of the lunch space. So we have the ability to come down these stairs and possibly create an outdoor space here. For your staff, the existing plan, as you can see, you have a little outdoor space over here on this side. So that space is going to become interior space. And you can see that here. That's this space over here, in here, and then this new addition down through here. You've got offices over here. Again, none of this has changed since most of you have seen this before. There may be a few little changes within the plan. I think we had maybe 4 or 5 little changes. Over here on this end is the other addition. This is shown in blue here. We're pretty much taking the property, trying to get as much space as we can, taking the property up to that electric line right away and the road that exists down here, the entry road. But again, not a lot of that has changed. As I mentioned, the lunch space that is right here, you can go right down these stairs and go to a possible outdoor space here on the lower level. Again, the site plan, we are still working with the parking, trying to get more parking. We know you need more parking. You all have already paved a little bit in this area, but we're looking at adding some parking along the street over here, and then again some parking here in front as well. But the light blue area you see there is the existing building, and then you can see the light gray areas on both sides, which would be the additions on this main level. We're also, I mentioned before about down in the basement here, there being a small area down there with a shower and a bathroom, and the main purpose is that for the engineers. They'll have an outdoor walkway that would take them straight down to that area. So that's the guys coming in with the muddy boots coming from job sites, just gives them an area to, if they want to shower or if they just want to change clothes or change boots before they come into the office space.
Is that a locker room type of situation or what?
We'll have a few lockers in there, yes. That's the plan. Yes.
Individual shower stalls or stall?
It'll just be one. There's only enough room for one shower stall down there. Yes. The new piece that I don't think anybody's really seen yet is the new shop garage. You have several pieces of equipment, pretty expensive equipment that just sits out in the weather year round now. This also incorporates a wash bay, but you can see the main garage space on this side. That houses all the equipment. You have several vehicles, several other generators and lights of those type. And then there's a wash bay here, drive through a wash bay in this area. Drives inside one, and then again, some more shop space. Just a couple offices over there. And a single restroom there for that space. Again, here is the site plan where that will sit, just sort of a little site layout plan. But you have a couple, I think 1 or 2 small buildings in this area that you guys are doing away with. Very small, sort of maybe temporary buildings that will go away. That will go here. This is the end of the maintenance building here. Little lean-to type storage that's back here. And then the budget on the left side is the budget that was done back in 2023, and on the right side is the budget that was done just recently, just a couple months ago, just to update it. Nothing really changed. We just updated. This is for the office building, and these estimates are very rough because all they have to go by is really what I just showed you. We just had plans right now. We haven't developed elevations. We haven't got into the details of things. But essentially it was, if you look down here in the bottom, it was just under 5.9 million in 23, and it has risen about $175,000 to just over 6 million. Just in a couple years, and you can see there's nothing significant here. You can see the little line items in yellow here is everything went up just a little bit.
I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really surprised.
Yes, and we have changed. We've got a escalation market contingency down there, and we're seeing a little less volatility in the market now. So we've changed that. It used to be 6%, and we've changed that to 4% as well. So.
Two quick questions. Does that include FFE?
Yes.
Okay. And then was that first cost based off of when we're talking about going with the second story and having an elevator in it too?
No.
Okay, great.
Same
Wow.
plan. Yeah, same
Wow.
plan.
And I figured that'd be a good way to offset the cost there. Because
Yes.
that $160,000 is a surprisingly low increase over 24 months.
Will we get a copy of that?
We can, yes, we can provide them with hard copies.
Yeah.
And then this is what the ROM cost that we put together for the shop garage, and that's about 2.1 million, just over 2.1 million, and that's about a 8,000 square foot building. It's about 140 feet by 60 feet. It'll be a pre-engineered metal building, is what it'll be. And then we'll fit out the inside of it.
Will it be heated inside?
Yes.
Was it radiant floor or?
We haven't talked about a radiant floor yet. We have talked about heating it. We haven't really gone through options for heating it yet. Then we'll probably put like a small unit in to heat and cool the offices, probably the 2 offices. And again, we're really getting moving this time. We meet every 2 weeks with your staff. Most of the time it's virtually. And we've been meeting then. Just most of the meetings have been pretty quick, just get through design things. We've also had our complete staff here. We've had our interior designer here again. Myself, I was here. We had mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structural engineers here just to go through every last little thing. They were all here once before, several years ago. Got the initial scope. They came back to look at every little thing this time. We've done that. We're looking, I told these guys that probably next week when we meet, we'll have some stuff as far as interior design and probably a look at what the exterior of the building will look like. We'll have some of that to show you all next week. So we've got geotechnical's been done this year. We got geotechnical done, got all the surveying we done. So we're ready to move full force forward. We think we can be ready to go to bid around the first of the year. That's kind of where we're at now. Maybe January, February, we could possibly be ready that early to move forward with bids.
How confident are you now in the landscape and topography here for being able to fit the building on there? I know that was a concern every once in a while on how we're going to be able to fit on the site.
Yeah, the big concern was this addition over here and how quickly the grades fall off right here.
and if there were some minimal slip concerns because of that. We had looked at that most recently, and I presented that to the team last week, and we think we're okay. We talked about possibly doing a retaining wall for the walkway or using the building wall as a retaining wall, and I think the best option is use the building as a retaining wall. The foundations in these back corners will go a little deeper, and that'll let that sort of sidewalk / stairs sort of just rest on natural grade.
The electrical line doesn't pose a problem during construction?
We're staying out of that right away. We're just barely out of that right away. Now, will they have to set up some scaffolding to do the brickwork? Maybe, drive some equipment back around there, yes, but we've stayed out of the right of way distance.
Has much changed as far as the office space in the last 2 years?
No, not really. We've tried to open up the lunchroom a little bit, make it a more pleasing space where people actually want to go in there and sit down. Our design-wise, we're going to do a little bit more there, but we've kind of opened that space up. Maybe get it a little more like a cafe style, just to make it a little more comfortable. We're adding some glass, I think, on the inside, just to make it more pleasing, make it feel more open. You don't really have very high ceilings over here, so I think trying to open that up. We've talked about some of that. I think a couple people office-wise have moved back and forth, but I think that's about it.
The other question I might have is the current staff, fitting them in here. I know that can happen, but how much additional staff space will be available for additional positions down the line?
Yeah, I think there's plenty of room for growth. Yes, both on the engineering side and on our business side.
Okay.
We'll have room for growth.
How about the garage?
We think that it will be adequate. So we did, from the initial discussion, we did not take into account housing our tractor. And once we started discussions with Omni and going through an actual walkthrough and looking at the equipment, we realized we really need to house the tractor indoors. We don't need that piece of equipment just sitting out in the weather all the time. And so we did expand it just a tad, but I think it has. I can't see us at this point needing any extra space than what we've got for some time. And we still have room out there if we have it.
Is this building scalable? The workshop, if needed in the future?
Yeah, being that it's a pre-engineered building, more than likely, both this side over here, this side and this side of the building will be the bearing points. So that will you could expand on this end of the building, and you could also expand on this end of the building.
Okay, that's good.
Great. Just basically make the building longer.
Yeah, because my thought is vehicles have not gotten any smaller since the 1990s, and I imagine we're not going to turn that around going forward either.
And as you know, our newest vac truck is a beast.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Any other questions from Omni about Omni's presentation? Well, then, thank you for coming.
Sure thing. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Next, under whole business is Upper Pompano Run Stream Restoration and Sewer Line Replacement Project. Ken Hacker.
Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ken Hacker, senior engineer here at MUB. Been working on this project for quite some time now, maybe beyond a decade. So it's finished. Larita has completed the project, done a fantastic job. We've got a really good finished product here. I'm going to run through the extents of the project, show you our as-built on our GIS mapping here real quick, run through some before and after pictures that I could pull out that does a pretty good comparison of what you can see. These stream projects are pretty neat. You actually get to see the finished product. So much here at MUB gets buried, put away, and you never see it again unless there's an issue and it gets dug up. So these stream projects are pretty cool. I think this is the third or fourth one that I've been involved in since my time started here at MUB. So didn't know I was going to be involved in stream restoration projects so much, but here we are. So in summary, this project was a little over 3,000 feet of new 12 and 8-inch sanitary sewer main along the Pocono Run stream. That included 32 new sanitary manholes, almost 600 feet of 18-inch storm main was brought from the stream itself up parallel Hoffman. I'll show you that location shortly. And when all that was in place, a little over 2,400 feet of Pocono Run was then created, restored, brought back to what it needed to be. Along that stream, we planted over 200 trees that are native to this region. And the project, to get started, required 78 private property easements and right-of-ways that we obtained. So, I mentioned that Loretta Excavating was a low bid, just over $3.23 million was the winning contract. $1 million was committed to the project from the Mon County Commission. $1 million was committed to the project from the city of Morgantown, and then MUB sewer funds are taking care of the remainder, just over $1.23 million. Forgot to mention that E.L. Robinson was our design engineer for the project. All-Star Ecology was our stream designer and permitting agency, engineering agency for the project. So let me see if I can get this to work. So we have went out and located all of the assets that are part of this project. So the dark blue line is the stream work. These green circles with the black dots are the new manholes. The cyan circles are the new sanitary cleanouts that serve all the properties along it. The orange squares are new storm inlets, and the orange piping is the new storm sewer. So if we look at where this project's located, it's close to the stadium. It runs from Willowdale Road here all the way up to Stewart Street up here. So we zoom in a little bit. You can see where the project originated. The lower point was down here at just below Willowdale Road. Did a crossing. Going a little farther, you can see actually the stream structures, which are these little rocks. They represent structures that were put inside or within the stream when it was constructed. I think there's 43 of those structures throughout this couple thousand feet of stream. What that does is that will stabilize that stream bottom. It doesn't let it erode out. The banks were restored with a matting, protective blanket before vegetation was put on it. So the banks are now stable. We've got a flood bench that's been established with this stream reshaping, as well as these in-stream structures that will keep the bottom of this thing stabilized and eliminate the erosion that happened, filling up the Alumni Pond, as we've seen in the past. So just a pretty cool overview of the project, of the extents of where it was. This little run here is a section that I said parallel Hoffman. There's lots of issues in the past with the storm drainage. There was basically none in this area. Sanitary sewer was a small 6-inch clay sewer that's been replaced now. And the addition of this storm sewer, I think, helped out this neighborhood a great deal. So you can see how many structures are in the stream on this area. It's a little bit of a steeper section when you look at the overall grade. So with that, I think we'll jump into some before and after pictures. So this is just above Goldell Road. I want you to pay attention to this building here. This is what we got after. This is that same building. So look at how narrow the stream was, how the banks were eroding up here. This was very steep over here, so we ended up with a retaining wall, which you can see here, natural stone retaining wall, protects that private property. Down here is the flood bench. So we now have another about 1 foot from the design flow line of the stream. This steps back approximately 3 foot, 2 to 3 foot on both sides of the stream, as you can see on this side as well. And it provides additional capacity for those larger events that we could see. So, and you just look upstream, there's no exposed pipes, everything's below grade. We drove the sanitary sewer main down about 3 feet, so that everything we can put under the surface and protect it. So, here's another before picture. Again, you've got the badly eroding banks on this side. You've got an exposed sewer lateral here going across the creek. This is a large cherry tree that the property owner really wanted to keep. So we worked with that property owner, and that cherry tree is this cherry tree. So again, look at the difference between the eroded banks. This was probably 3 feet wide at max at the bottom of the flow line. We now have 9 foot wide flow stream, flood banks, benches on both sides, and everything's buried below grade. This is about midway up from Willowdale to Hoffman. So here we are at Hoffman, looking downstream. There's several aerial sewers going across here. You can see the badly eroded banks happening here in between these tree stumps. This building, you'll see in the next picture, is still here. So this is the building that was in that last picture. And again, everything's buried below grade. This is looking downstream from Hoffman. So there are stream structures in here. They're hard to see. I've got a picture towards the end of this that shows those much better. Kind of gives you a better idea how many of those are still erosion sediment controls, which is what you see over here staking in the ground. If that hasn't been removed yet, that will shortly. Now that everything's vegetated. Standing on Bradley Street, looking towards Hoffman, you can see how filled in this chain is. There's basically nothing there. I've stepped across this many times, visiting with folks and going through different flooding problems. So that's what we have now. Bradley Street, looking downstream towards Hoffman, and it wasn't just a brush clearing exercise. We removed a lot of material out of here to reestablish the stream, give it the proper geometry. And again, got all the piping below grade. Same location, looking upstream. Again, not much of a stream left. Everything has been banks have eroded in, filled in, and then this is what we have now. So we did actually catch this after a pretty decent rain event. It must have been really crazy, but it was working fantastic. So you can see the trees really well in this one that have been planted up this side. Those all go or were placed pretty close to the flood bench throughout, so those will help lock in that stream bank as well and provide some really nice foliage and cover as those things grow and mature. This is the one good picture up the leg that parallels Hoffman. Hoffman Avenue is over here. We're behind the houses back here. So there was an existing sanitary sewer went through here that we replaced. This is a storm culvert down here that open-ended. This was a storm culvert that open-ended. It actually flowed down, turned, and went under this house. So it now is collected in a storm system here. It goes down and goes through the backyards, and that goes down and ends up in the run. Pocono no longer goes under this house, and then there's a new sanitary sewer that runs up this bank and continues beyond that little dead end road that we're seeing. So here is above Bradley Street, but you can see the structures in the stream. These are rock sills. And again, there's several of them up through here with the bends in the stream. Those were put in there, again, stabilize the stream bottom. The slope was a little greater on this section of stream, so there's more of those throughout this. So the stream work's done. Pipes in the ground. Through the Army Corps of Engineers, we had to agree to a monitoring phase as with any stream project. So we're now in a 5-year monitoring phase for this project. We will analyze the stability of the stream bottom and banks each year. Requires cross sections, and I believe we also have to do like a vegetation assessment to see how well the trees are growing and anything else that may come up. Submit that each year, and then after 5 years we get a release. We've already submitted the certification of completion to the Army Corps, so we're officially in the post-construction monitoring phase. As we do with our other projects, we will add this to our annual maintenance plan. So if we start getting invasive species coming in, we'll start hitting those and getting rid of those. We did a pretty extensive effort on the Burroughs Run stream. That spanned about 5 years. It started 6 or 7 years ago. So we continue to do that each year as well. It's much less of a problem now, but we've got everything under control. But we also do weed eating of those banks twice a year. We'll do the same thing here within the banks of the stream. So one thing, this is not just, it's a stream bank. It's not just a stormwater conveyance. So anybody can impact it. So we put out the following flyer. I'll do those. Anyways, I'll get back to that soon. So we put together the following flyer. We mailed it out to all the adjoining property owners because, it's a community-owned asset. Everybody needs to take pride in this thing and to help maintain it and let us know if something's going on wrong. Somebody dumps a load of dirt in it, tries to fill it up. But what we want people to know is to not mow down on the floodplain. Don't spray herbicide down along the stream. We'll handle all that. We hire licensed applicators if we got to use herbicide to do invasive control or what. But we put this together, sent this out about a month ago to all the neighboring properties. It generated a lot of phone calls. A lot of people were asking questions, and I think they had a lot of good conversations. So I think that was a good thing, and we may look at doing this, once a year just to try to keep it fresh in everybody's mind. But it's just not something we're going to put in and forget about. So the project was nearly 100% within city limits. As you can see from those before and afters, we greatly improved the capacity of that stream. I don't know what percent number, but it's a lot. Stand out there and look at it. It's pretty neat. The methods that were used ensure that this improvement is going to last for decades. And we felt that it was just an excellent partnership between MUB, County Commission, and the City of Morgantown that I think a lot of people benefit from. So with that, any questions?
It's a great project. Really appreciate your work. leadership on this.
So we had a couple of strong rainfalls this year. I don't know how they ranked versus the 2021 rainfalls that really made us realize what a problem this area was. Did we see benefit from what had already been done? I know the project wasn't complete for either of those rainfalls,
Right.
or was the rainfall less in that area?
We definitely didn't see anything like we saw in 21 in that area. But the larger ones, 2 of the 3 larger ones we did see, the stream work was not done yet. So we had much of the same localized flooding in that area. The third one, which I think I caught the tail end of on the one picture that showed a little higher flows. There was an obvious difference. So at one point, we could look below Hoffman and you could see everything was nice and controlled. And you look above Hoffman prior to the work being done and the water was out of the banks and, kind of causing havoc. So I'm really optimistic that we're going to see some really good things here.
So does the width and added capacity in those streams slow down the water in and of itself because it's not such a narrow channel?
Exactly. So yeah, if you look at the flow is area times velocity, we took that area and we greatly increased that thing. Flow stays the same, so the velocity goes down. And then we add in those structures and the armoring and all that, and that just adds to slowing down those normal size rains. So.
Any other question?
Yeah, it looks great. I think not only does this improve our ability capacity to handle the stormwater, but it's beautiful. And I think you appropriately call it a community asset. I endeavor to say that property values have been improved over there, and and certainly serve to beautify the community. So thank you.
Good. Yeah, I hope everybody ever is happy with it. I hope so.
And I know you mentioned it, but huge thanks to the city, to the Montauk County Commission, and to the federal government for having the ARPA funds to begin with.
Right.
That to have this type of partnership to help alleviate some of those issues that we saw full bore 4 years ago. This was fantastic coming together of people on it. It's like a great result.
I'll just say in terms of public engagement as well, the flyer at the end is a big deal. I mean, Morgantown's a happening place in terms of real estate markets and things, so I think that's important to engage and kind of help the community help themselves in a way. So I think that's very good. So.
Any other questions? Okay, then we'll turn to the next item under old business, the Valley View Stormwater Improvement Project.
Yeah, so before Ken runs out the door to go home, Ken has also been our lead engineer, project manager on this one as well. And I don't want to steal Ken's thunder, so I'm going to let Ken talk about where we are for just a moment with that project, because we're right at the end here.
We are. So when we gave the update, I believe we still had to install a trench drain at the top of Oak Court. Since the notes that has been installed, all we lack at this point is the final restoration paving of Oak Court. So everything's been installed from Valley View all the way up. It was quite a feat to see that pipe go in the ground. We're talking 4-foot diameter storm culvert to begin with, and we ended up at 36-inch pipe on the upper end. So, all that's done now. Hopefully we get everything paved next week. Then grass comes back in, and everybody can enjoy the benefits of that. So, another project that's been needed for a long time.
Ken he has just done an excellent job managing this project, working with all the parties. This was another partnership with MUB, the county commission, CZS. We were on their property a ton with Mr. David Biafora and his group. I mean, it's been a great partnership. It's worked out very well. Some of the bigger rains caught us though before we had everything in, unfortunately. But some of the downstream piping was certainly able to handle that kind of rain, and so this is just a fantastic project, and we appreciate everyone's cooperation and partnership. Thanks, Ken. We appreciate you staying around.
Well, thanks so much, and congratulations on the completion of the Pocono project.
Well done.
But he also has another major project, which is the Cheat Lake wastewater plants. So don't think that he's getting off scot-free now that he's finished 2 projects.
Well, that's how you get rewarded.
Yeah.
More bigger projects.
Right.
Doesn't everybody do that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's on my life.
So moving on to the
Star City.
Star City acquisition, just a brief note, the 3 public service commissioners have referred this petition down to their Division of Administrative Law Judges for a decision to be issued no later than March 24, 2026. So as most things go in those dates, we'll probably see something around that time.
Is that typical, like, standard process?
I think so, yes. They have a large workload, and I think these cases they get referred, all the things that have to occur, from staff and so forth.
No, not just time frame, but procedure. That's the standard operating procedure.
Sometimes the commission will keep a case if they have the ability to do that, but I think their workload is probably a little bit larger right now. I've seen some articles about power companies going in for rate increases. Typically, the commission will hear those cases when they're that large, and so I'm imagining that's why this one was referred downstairs to the ALJs. And that's just a guess on my part, but it would make sense.
That's a very educated guess on your part.
Transmission lines too.
True. That's it. Yeah, thank you.
Educated.
It's I don't hear that very often.
Right.
Thank
Make
you.
note of that in a minute.
I'm going to make note of that. Yes, educated.
City of Westover.
So the Holland Avenue, their lines are finished up, and they're now getting started on the lift station. It looks like they're going to probably complete that project. I think scheduled for end of January, early February, from what I read, and so they are progressing, and so it's all a good thing.
Cheat Lake.
Yes, so Cheat Lake, we're right about 25% completion right now. So the Mealy and Sons, they've really made up some progress from where we had the rains earlier in the summer, and so they've been able to move a lot of material. We do have a temporary diversion at the southernmost point of the project until we reach the point of DEP giving us approval to release flow into the new Kelly's Run. So we're just waiting for all that grass to come in. The new headworks building base slabs and channel walls have been placed. The above ground visible masonry work should begin very soon. Excavation continues for the new oxidation ditch number 3 and is complete at the new clarifier number 3. A concrete mud mat has been placed. There's approximately 1,500 tons of stone being placed on top of the mud mat that will allow the forming and reinforcement placement to begin for the 100-foot diameter base slab. And that is a true 100 feet diameter.
And that's happening this week.
I forget how many
Yeah, I got an update that potentially first of next week.
First of next week.
and how many yards of concrete.
I believe it was close to 700 yards.
How long is that pour going to take?
A long.
Start
All
to
day.
finish, all day. We're going to do it in a day.
Okay, so it won't be needed overnight hours or anything like that.
Probably late hours, but
Yeah.
not overnight.
It's probably too cold overnight too. Anyway, to do it.
Yeah, it's starting to get cold. Yeah.
Good.
So there are just some other structures are under construction, the return activated sludge pumping station, UV disinfection structure, and the new primary effluent junction structure. So progress is being made.
I might add that I asked Ken, Mike, and Rich to come to the Cheat Lake Rotary Club today to give a presentation, since most of the members of the club live in the Cheat Lake area. Ken did an excellent presentation, including a flyover of what's happened on that side. And if you haven't been out there, it's amazing how much dirt was actually moved.
Yeah, so I get out there fairly frequently with taking my daughter out to my mother-in-law's, and I really enjoy seeing that project.
You want to turn next to West Ridge and Chaplain Hill water and sewer projects? Why don't you just go through all the projects?
Okay, so the directional drill, I think we're waiting, the contractor is waiting on a new head for to be delivered. They're going to do a 30-inch ream, and that is the last one, I believe, Rich, to be completed. And after that, they'll once they get to the other side, they will pull back the new 26-inch HDPE water line. And so we're looking to see that towards the end of October, maybe the 1st of November for completion. And we were very excited to get that line into service and the old line off the Westover Bridge.
What type of time frame are you thinking from being able to abandon the Westover Bridge line?
I'd say it's probably a couple of weeks on both sides to tie in. So we're probably still a month after we get done drilling before we're able to turn that line on.
Great. Well, that'd be fantastic.
And this was one of those projects that kept us awake at night. So hopefully we'll get it all completed.
And that's the one where the drill bit broke, isn't it? Is that the one?
They've had some
lodge?
challenges. I think that was on the
sewer side.
on the sewer where it was lodged. I think on the water, it's just they did have a problem, and I think they got a new head, and then they decided to do a 30-inch ream, and they're just waiting on it to be delivered.
Aerial pipes would have been so much easier. Especially in the sewer.
So the on the water side of the project, the water booster station is on operation. Looks like we're going to be moving quickly now towards the demolition of the existing lift station building. That's part of the contract. Hopefully that's just going to be the next couple weeks, and all that will get done. I think we've salvaged everything of value out of the station at this point that we can, and so that will all get reclaimed. And the water tank, I just signed substantial completion on that part of the project today, so it is up and running. I think there's just a few little punch list items maybe up there, Rich, that need to be attended to, but nothing of significance. And then on the sewer system upgrade, the new lift station is up and operational. Working on the decommissioning of the existing lift station, and hope to have this project completed towards the end of the month.
Any question about West Ridge and Chaplain Hill? And turn to Morgan's Run Waterline Extension Project.
Yes. So the West Virginia Infrastructure and Jobs Development Council, they've approved mode to proceed with the proposed financing of the Morgan's Run Waterline project. We are waiting to hear from WDA about our request for economic enhancement grant funds. We need this approval to be able to move forward with final project design, or if we need to submit a funding scenario change to IJDC. So hopefully we'll have some news, good positive news on that in the coming weeks.
Okay. General Manager's report. You have some items that you want to bring to our attention?
Yes, so some things that we've been working on, of course, the Deckers Creek sewer line, that is still, and that is still ongoing. I think we were waiting on Bethesda. I think they maybe submitted that today, Rich, later, the slope design.
Yes.
So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this over to Rich. Rich was able to take part in the meeting with city staff the other day. And
Yeah, so I mean, we're waiting right now on they're called aqua barriers to do a coffer dam to get the water off of the contractors while they try to dig a toe key. That'll be once the water's off of them, that'll be the first thing they do is they dig a toe key down the rock, which is about, you would think, at the bottom of the creek, but it's about 8 foot below the bottom of the creek. And so
To bedrock.
to bedrock. And so in order to stabilize the slope and reconstruct that slope, you got to bear that on bedrock. And so that's the task of building a toe key. Once we build that toe key up, we'll be able to replace the sewer line that was broken, and then come up with the slope. And so that's how we want to start. We're thinking now the aqua barriers will be here Monday.
Rich, what is the vision for the plan for the toe key construction? Is that going to be like a concrete?
It's
Or is it
rock.
going to be riprap?
It's
riprap.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It'll be big riprap that's sitting on rock. So it's a 10-foot bottom. So which is a challenge when you're that close to the water to get something that wide and have the slopes or have the sides stay up and not collapse in on you. And so we're not out of the woods yet getting this constructed, but that's the plan: is a 10-foot wide bench, and then it comes up as at 1-to-1. And so the riprap will be inside.
How did that pipe last that long? It's just amazing, one, that they were able to do the work when that stuff was originally put in, and two, that it's lasted as long as it has. Because that's this is a heck of a project, even though an emergency effort. But it's just astounding to me.
So hopefully, starting Monday, we'll start to see some actual work getting done there to repair that and get it back to normal.
Now, how about the signs? We talked about the signs for notification.
Yes, we have signs ordered, and as soon as we get those in, we'll
Okay.
get them.
Thanks.
I think we expect those anytime.
Appreciate that.
The signs are for what?
So there was some testing done by the Friends of Deckers Creek, and there's a pollution that's starting to get to with the low flows that we
Okay.
were experiencing, and so felt like that we wanted to put some additional signage out, just letting people know, hey, during this sewer line construction,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
don't be in there.
Okay.
You know,
We've been spending a lot of time, a group of volunteers have been spending a lot of time working down there and taking note of people still accessing the stream for recreational purposes. So, probably want to warn them against that.
So the Evansdale sewer lining project. So Insight Pipe, they provided their report to staff after their cleaning and TV inspections, evaluations of the sanitary and storm sewers in the neighborhood. They did discover a number of point repairs that need to be undertaken, that would have to be done prior to any lining. We've gotten that cost estimate from Insight for conducting those point repairs, and so we're evaluating that estimate. But I think we'll probably be back next month with the board with a recommendation of moving forward and to get that moving.
Okay.
That's
It's yours.
okay. Standard Street. I'm sorry, Tom. A little mix up. I didn't read the signals there well enough.
It's your report.
Okay, my
It's not
report.
mine.
I was just seeing if there were any questions. So,
That's
the
good.
Standard Street area sewer cleaning, evaluation, and smoke testing. So, we had Insight Pipe come in and clean and evaluate. We originally were hoping for about 11,000 feet, but they were able to get about 8,500 feet in the time that we allotted for the cleaning and evaluation. And so I think we're going to see what that report tells us and determine if we need to go in and do some repair or lining there as well. I think that there's a lot of, I think the lines are relatively flat in that area. I think there were about 21 loads of material they brought out. So, it's, trying to do the due diligence, and we've done some smoke testing over in that area as well.
Yeah, that's routine maintenance, right?
It's I'd like to. It's maintenance. Yes,
Yeah,
it's.
I mean, you're routine, not in the sense that you want to go back to Sanders Street every few
True.
years, but you just rotate through your infrastructure, and I would imagine.
Yeah.
And so it prompted me to think to want to ask if we have a schedule for that kind of thing, or whether formal or informal, for cleaning.
So we have a number of areas that we flush and clean on a regular basis. This I would say, was a little bit more than what we would normally bite off. So it just because availability, time, and crews, and where they need to go. So that's really the beauty of what we've done, jumping in with these contracts, of where we can get these companies on board, and it makes it so much easier. These contracts have already been bid. We don't have to go out through that process, and it's available to us and all municipalities. And we
like
just
an IDIQ contract, you just issue a task order on.
and move and go ahead. So, we'll come back in and we'll meet with the board about these contracts and move ahead. But they are a much quicker way. And of course, the cost of lining is so reasonable now. You can't even hardly compare to replacement unless the line is in just such bad shape that it has to be replaced. But that makes it a fantastic program to rehabilitate.
And that's really what this cleaning is that the cleaning and TV has to be done before they line.
Yeah.
And so it's just part of that lining
Sure.
process.
I got you. Okay.
What about the other 2,500 feet?
Well, there are reasons why they couldn't line. There are some reasons why they couldn't line it. One was time, and the others were access related. So we'll have some work to do to gain them access, whether it's installation of some manholes, things like that. But before they line, all of it will be cleaned and TV.
Oh,
so we just didn't get there on the first go around.
Thanks for the background.
So the Van Voorst Sanitary Sewer Project, we're working with different homeowners associations. They paid for the first report, the preliminary engineer report that we were able to take down to the West Virginia IJDC. They've approved MUB to proceed with the proposed funding request. Corey Jones is our lead on that project. He has just sent a letter out to the different HOAs to inform them of what's occurred down at IJDC, and for them to provide binding commitments with MUB to proceed forward. So this will be at their cost. Now we will be contributing per the PSC rules, but the major part of this will all be on for them to pay. So there is we are working with Thrasher. They're going to be applying for some grant dollars as well. So we're going to have that. Maybe that will come to fruition. We don't know, but if everybody wants to move forward, if everybody's in agreement, we'll have to come back to the board with another task order, because this one just takes us through to the point of getting us through this initial part of IJDC, not through design.
Our goal is to have that for next meeting, but that all depends on whether we get those commitment letters.
Right. What everybody decides.
Okay. We'll be here. Yep.
The Westover interceptor cleaning. So, we operate Westover under an operation and maintenance agreement. And so, we put money that we collect every month into what is called the working cash capital account. And so I spoke with the Public Service Commission representative a few weeks ago and said, hey, we need to use some of these funds from the working cash capital account because you have to report that to the commission every year. After the end of the fiscal year, you give them a report what you used and what you used it for. And just double checking that this would be an acceptable use of those funds. And so we had Insight clean about 1,800 feet of their interceptor along Long Street. And so Insight estimated they removed about 30 tons of debris out of there. So do you have anything you want to?
You can't top that. I mean, I think some of the pipe, they were estimating to be 75 to 80% filled with cement.
So I'm guessing we're not talking 3-4 years since the last time that interceptor was cleaned.
It could have been a little longer.
It also lays flat, and so there's not a great opportunity to flush. So
that's a problem.
That's a problem too. So you get now that section's cleaned, there's a little bit more we have to do, but that sediment's going to build back up because it's flat. And so it's an ongoing
Putting
maintenance
a
thing now.
maintenance plan together for it. That do you think that's something that we'd be able to do in house, or is that going to be a contract thing each time that we do that?
I would say we could do that in house for sure.
And just this, while we have the operating and maintenance agreement going now, and eventually we'll take over ownership. This is something that we did not have operating on until a year ago, if that.
The timing of that's about right.
So we, it's just like anything, the length of that line all the way down from the lift station back upstream, and how much time. So, it's nice to have Insight as a contractor / partner, where they can dedicate full time to cleaning, where, we'll get called off a job, have to go, unclog this, and sometimes people find these problems for us. And, oh God, we got
good partners. What's the diameter of that pipe?
The diameter down there was, I believe it was maybe 18 inches.
18, oh, that's it.
Small.
I was thinking we're talking like
Yeah,
60, 70, 80, 90 with
Yeah, me
30
too.
tons of.
To me, anything was flowing.
Or
Right.
flowing at jet speed. Goodness.
Okay.
So, MS4 program, you may have seen in the paper, we went out and we're advertising right now for consulting services. That what that consultant would do would be developing, revising our stormwater management plan. They would submit our annual reports, take care of field monitoring and documentation, and just ensure that we are always in compliance with the new NPDES general permit. That permit just came out, but last week, was it? Maybe 2 weeks ago. And so we are, right now, I think we've gotten expressions of interest. How many?
Maybe we're up to 7 now.
7
Some
firms.
companies.
So we'll see where that leads us, and hopefully we'll be able to form another partnership with the company, and that way it just sort of helps us keep on task all the time with it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the end of my report.
Any board members have issues you want to bring before the public?
I just noticed as I was pulling out of my neighborhood today, I'm guessing what it was flow test monitoring on fire hydrants. It's a strange looking device that had just a little spray of water coming out, but had a gauge on that. Is that what that is?
Yes. That's part of our required testing that we're doing annually now.
And also, I've noticed, and it may have been there this whole time, but in the last few months, I thought I noticed new rings on the fire hydrants. Is that also
Part of
flood
part of
testing?
that testing. So within 5 years, all of them will have rings on as we go through the testing.
I'm glad that I'm not just seeing things that haven't been there.
So that's just allowing us, but more importantly, the fire departments to understand what the flow zones are there.
Well, I think the state made it clear that Mo's a leader in that by the inclusion and or conscription in the task force to put that all together. So thank you guys, and glad to have them out in my neighborhood. Make me feel good that if something happens, we've got the water to help.
Yep.
Any
And we're
others?
operating them too, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
You operate them, and now they work at least when we operate them.
Right then.
Right then.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Any other issues? Do I hear a motion to move into executive session?
Yeah, I will move to convene an executive session of the Board of Directors under the provisions of the West Virginia Code Section 6-9A-4, B2 and 12 for conducting the annual evaluation of the general manager and to discuss other confidential matters which are exempt from disclosure under the West Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And
Do I hear a second?
real quick, are we adjourning upon
No,
that, or we
no.
do come back out?
Yeah, we'll come back after the executive session. Do I hear a second? Second's been made. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll move into executive session.
Before we go ahead, Jared.
The Morgantown Utility Board will return back to its regular session. Do I hear a motion from any of the board members about any additional business?
I move to, after the completion of the annual review of General Manager Mike McNulty, to award the same 3% cost of living adjustment pay increase that has been awarded to the rest of the staff. And do we typically make that retroactive to a certain date, or is that
It's actually this would be the Sunday, last Sunday.
okay? Retroactive to this past Sunday, so that he gets today and yesterday, through Sunday, October 12th.
Motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? No opposed. The motion passes. I will then ask for a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn this meeting of the Board of Directors of MUB.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.